Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome to No Shave November or No Shave October, whatever the hell month we're even in right now. I don't know when this video is gonna be, uploaded, but probably sometime in late October, early November, I don't know. But whatever the hell month we're in, I'm gonna be letting my beard grow out, I'm looking really good, all scruffy and rough and sexy, I got my facial hair on fleek. Okay, but aside from my ravaging sexiness, on today's episode of The Mixer, I'm going to be talking about Slenderman, and in case you guys missed it, I reviewed the movie Slenderman back in 2018, and I did say that it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and that still goes without saying, and I said in that video that I was going to be talking about the actual character of Slenderman today, and I am, and now here's the thing, in case you guys don't know, I'm going to already start the video off by saying this here. It should be a little obvious, but the Slenderman doesn't exist, he's not real, okay? And you cannot convince me otherwise. It's just something that was created in an internet forum back in 2009 by this guy named Eric Knudsen, who went by the pseudonym Victor Surge, and it started off as like a Photoshop contest for users to create different scary photos, and Eric, he actually took two different photos of kids playing in parks, in like a little clearing, a forest of sorts, and he photoshopped a very tall, thin man with no face into them, in the background, and he kind of created a mythology behind that, he called it the Slender Man, and he also put in two different captions under the photos, that read as follows. The first photograph: "We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them, but its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time." I don't know why I sounded British while quoting that, but it was apparently it was from a photographer back in 1983 who was presumed dead. And on the second photograph it was said, "One of two recovered photographs from the Sterling City Library blaze, notable for being taken the day which 14 children vanished and for what is referred to as the Slenderman. Deformities cited as film defects by officials. Fire at library occurred 1 week later. Actual photograph confiscated as evidence." Maybe I'm just trying to flex my British accent, I'm trying to make it sound more official and real, so that's why I'm reading it like this. Apparently the photograph was taken in 1986, and the photographer, whose name was Mary Thomas, had been missing since June 13th of that year, So it pretty much transformed the Slenderman into a varied work of fiction, but from then on, it started to kind of go viral as things in the internet do, because people believe a lot of different crap. People will believe anything if it's like, if it has a well-presented enough, how can I say, if it has the information is well enough written and presented, people are pretty much going to believe anything. So the Slenderman legend, it kind of it spiraled out of control. What started off as a simple innocent Photoshop contest turned into people actually believing this thing was real, and it spread like wildfire, and it very quickly became kind of like an internet urban legend, and everybody believed it was real, everybody was like, people were scared of it, just two crappy photos, that I will admit look really well done. Like, I saw the photos and I couldn't even tell that they were Photoshopped, and I'm kind of like a Photoshop wizard myself. You guys do see my thumbnails here on my channel, so I do dabble in the Photoshop arts, but I don't know, it just looked so real, it looked so amazing that it was really hard to believe, that it wasn't real. But, I mean, he didn't exactly hide it. He did say that he made it up, he created the whole mythology, but by then it was already too late, Everybody believed that Slenderman was real, and to be honest, it's actually really dumb, you can't even call this arbitrary. It's not like you believe it if you want to. It really is crappy. The photos really, really suck, so if you can honestly believe this is real, I don't know, man. But anyway, before I go on, let me show you guys the two photos that I'm talking about right now. Pretty damn creepy, huh? I'll admit, it's pretty spooky, it's a little unsettling, and it kind of made me want to die when I saw it the first time. No, I'm kidding, I'm exaggerating, but then again, apparently Slenderman does make you want to die, the actual character itself, so... Anyway, so here's the thing. Now, after he got his own little traction and spread around the internet, he actually became one of the most famous and one of the first examples of a creepypasta, which, as we all know, is something very popular today. It's a few different websites where you can create your own user-submitted creepy stories. And Slenderman I actually do creepypasta narrations. I haven't done them in a while, but if you guys want to check out my creepypastas later, go into this playlist here that I call Chazzy Pastas, where I narrate some stories and stuff. And Slenderman Slenderman is right up there with, you know, Jeff the Killer, Ben Drown, Candle Cove, you know, The Rake, you know, one of those really classic old creepypastas, you know. And he is very enduring because he's so simple, you know. Now, because there's no established canon mythology for him, it's kind of like up to interpretation, you know. Other people can give their own different versions of the actual character, the stories, you know. So his appearance and abilities and motives and habits might actually change from story to story, you know. But there is one overlying theme in all of them, and it's that he is said to be a very tall, thin figure wearing a suit and tie, you know, a black suit and tie. He has no face. He's completely featureless, you know. Very long arms that can also sprout into tentacles that come out from behind his back, and he can apparently do like a Mr. Fantastic and reach out and grab people, you know. But depending on the story, depending on the version, you know, he can also change his facial features to depending on the person who sees him, you know. So you might see a complete blank slate on his face, or you might see something else, you know. There are some versions that I think give him a mouth with serrated teeth, you know. And usually he targets children, you know. He actually kind of thrives in places that are abandoned, like forests, or maybe an abandoned house, you know, or warehouses, wherever the hell, whatever creepy, abandoned, dark place you can find, that's probably where the Slenderman thrives, you know. And he invokes fear, you know. Like if you see him, you will either go crazy, lose your mind, or maybe die instantly, like I don't know, maybe some kind of like a Medusa thing where he just like turns you into stone or nothing at all. You just die instantly, you know. It's an insta kill. Or he will also take you, although he regularly targets children for some reason, you know. Or you will also enter something called Slender Sickness, where you're gonna start getting paranoid and hallucinating and seeing a bunch of different things all over the place, you know. So the mythology gets really deep, you know. It gets really, really deep, and there actually is a symbol, you know. You also get a lot of nosebleeds too, you know. A lot of really crazy stuff happens. But there is also this thing here. I'm gonna try to show you guys if I can maybe okay, so I wonder if I can, like, okay, here, this is the Slenderman symbol. Let me turn up the brightness here on my tablet. This is the Slenderman symbol, you know. Like, this is his official symbol, like his logo, like he has like a heavy metal or rock band or something like Slipknot. This is his signal right here, his symbol. So if you see this, run. Run as far away the hell as you can, because, you know, he is near. He will find you. And he has actually spread to a lot of different media franchises. There have been books and the movie that I reviewed recently, you know. There's been a few video games. He's appeared in video games. He did appear in his own game called Slender, The 8 Pages, I believe, or The Arrival, something like that, you know. That it actually went viral back when it came out because a lot of YouTubers were playing it, you know. Very simple game. You just walk around a dark forest with a flashlight trying to find 8 pages, you know. But then he can actually sneak up on you and jump scare you, you know. It's actually really dumb, but I will admit, I did watch quite a few YouTubers play it, and it was just a little unsettling, I will admit. Not exactly the kind of game I would play, you know, unless I could do face cam for my own channel here, you know. But I probably wouldn't play it for fun unless the achievements were easy. I kind of like games that have easy achievements, you know. Completely unrelated to this video, but watch this one here, you know, where I talk about achievements and Xbox and trophies and PlayStation and whatnot, you know. But so Slenderman really spread out, you know, into his own thing. He really became like, because he's a really good example of digital folklore, you know. Like it's kind of like a modern day urban myth it's a phenomenon because it's spread through the internet, you know, which is a good example of how you can mix traditional folklore and urban myth and storytelling with the new modern days of the internet and whatnot, you know. So it's actually a really cool example. Even though he doesn't exist, it's kind of like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, where there's no actual real concrete evidence that they exist, but everybody believes they do. But then again, the Slenderman literally doesn't. You know, like even the guy who created him said, look, he's not real, I just made him up, okay? But people still believe he exists anyway. And unfortunately, he's also been tied to something, an actual real-life crime, you know. On May 31st, 2014, two 12-year-old girls stabbed one of their friends, you know, 19 freaking times because they believed that they were going to be acting on his behalf or summoning him or something of the sort, you know. I'm going to give you guys a few more details here, but I'm not going to read what actually happened because I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm not really too good with violence. I know I've told you that before, but I just don't, you know. But anyway, so The girls' names were Anissa and Morgan, and they lured their friend Peyton, led her into a forest, and stabbed her, like I said, 19 times. They wanted to become proxies of the fictional Slenderman, you know, and later the victim crawled to a road where she was found, and she recovered after 6 days in the hospital. How the hell she was still alive, I don't know, because if I get stabbed one time, I'll probably be like an insta-death, you know, I'll die immediately. This girl got stabbed, dude, a teenage girl got stabbed 19 times and lived, and a lot of the stabs were close to her heart, near the arteries and stuff, you know, and they were found not guilty by mental disease or defect, you know, and they were committed to mental health institutions for 25 and 40 years respectively, you know, although honestly, if it were up to me, I would keep them locked up forever, because you're gonna stab somebody based on a fictional character that doesn't exist, you know, it just doesn't make sense. But anyway, I refuse to elaborate further because I don't have I really don't want to. But anyway, so Slenderman, you guys can, if you look him up, you know, read up about it, you can actually see that there are a lot of different tidbits of info about him, you know, and there actually was a copyrighted issue, you know, because despite his qualities as like a folklore legend, he's not in the public domain, so technically, if you want to, if you had enough money, you could buy him and own him for yourself, you know, even though the actual creator has given personal blessing to a number of different Slenderman adaptations, you know. Apparently, as of 2016, you know, a few years ago, the media rights to Slenderman, actually, they were sold to Mythology Entertainment, you know. I'm guessing they might be the ones behind the movie, you know, but the movie was really poorly executed. It was really badly done. I think that they took the legend of Slenderman and really, like, I don't know. I just think it sucked, you know, it was horrible. I really didn't like it at all, but you guys can go watch my review later and understand why. I'm not going to talk about the movie here, but I think that Slenderman is a really cool example of how the internet can create really amazing things, you know, and it's really scary, you know, it's actually really, really frightening because, I mean, think about it, man. It's something that clearly doesn't exist, but it garnered so much widespread panic that everybody believed it was real, and people got paranoid over this thing, you know. There are people who were claiming to actually see the damn Slenderman, you know. I mean, either you were just making it up for publicity, or you're just delusioned, you know. You are as disillusional as the girls who stabbed that poor little teenager. So yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of the Slenderman. I like the character, you know, I think he's really cool, and the way he has infiltrated popular culture, you know, is really awesome. He is a modern urban legend, which I think is really cool. Usually urban legends come from like a lot of different, from decades ago of folklore and storytelling, you know, but in this case, it's really cool because it's something, he's an urban legend of my generation, you know, which I saw being created, so that's awesome. But anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this video up here. There's really not much else I can say. Just wanted to give you guys a little profile there about the Slenderman, you know, and I think it's really cool. I like reviewing movies or TV shows and then immediately recording a vlog talking about the real life mythology behind it, if there is any, you know. So yeah, I really hope you guys like this one, even though it's pretty short, and let me know in the comments below what you think about Slenderman. If you're a fan, and if you're not, tell me why. Are you afraid of him, you know? I mean, do you believe he's real even though he's clearly not, you know? What do you think, you know? And if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And also go ahead and hit a notification bell while you're at it so you can know exactly what time I upload. So yeah, it's all good. My outros are getting more and more awkward, aren't they? Very clunky and forced. But anyway, this is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.